For the record, this matter is before the court on the plaintiff's continued motion to modify custody and parenting time. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. The present is Attorney Gerard Scanland representing the plaintiff moving party. The plaintiff mother, Christina Bays. Ms. Bays appears to be present. Is Jeffrey Tuval present on audio? It appears that Mr. Tuval has not appeared this morning. The matter was scheduled for 9 a.m. It's now about 9:18 a.m. Mr. Tuval has not appeared. He's not contacted the court. Mr. Scanlon, have you or Ms. Bays had any contact from Mr. Tuval this morning?
No.
May it please this honorable court, Gerard Scanland, P number 74992, appearing on behalf of Ms. Bays. Good morning, Your Honor. No, I have not had any contact with him.
The court would note that Mr. Tuval did not appear at our last scheduled hearing, November 12th, at which time the court entered an order that may be adjourned today to today's date so the plaintiff could secure CPS reports and additional documents to support the allegations that there's been some issues in father's home that would merit a modification of custody or parenting time. Also present, good morning, Ms. Patrick.
Morning, Your Honor. As I would like to point out to the court, there also Ms. Cart has appeared. She is a Lucas County CPS worker.
Okay. Have you received any reports, Ms. Patrick, from Mr. Scanlon?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay. Have you talked with this representative of Protective Services this morning?
I have, Your Honor.
And we've determined that is there a pending investigation?
The investigation has been concluded by Ms. Cart. She had indicated to me this morning she has attempted to reach out to the defendant. He will not contact her. She was looking for a drug screen from the defendant. He did not cooperate. So she has attempted to contact him and he has made no contact with her.
Okay, if the court recalls, Mr. Scanlon, your client petitioned the court because the defendant father allegedly was involved in an altercation with his wife in the presence of the 6-year-old child. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon, was that the primary issue that prompted you to come before the court?
And I'm sorry, you broke up, Your Honor. That's the only reason
Right.
One of the reasons that we came before the court was because it was alleged that the defendant in this particular instance was consuming while in the presence of the minor children, which was disturbing. Also, there's new charges of domestic violence involving Mr. Tuval, where he had assaulted his current wife in the presence of the minor children as well. So those are the allegations that have brought us to court today. And the court has already pointed out that this is the second attempt to hold this hearing. At the last hearing, Mr. Tuval failed to show, despite being served and notified to be here. He is not here again today, and it is noted by Ms. Cart that he is not cooperating. Ms. Cart has asked him to submit to drug tests. He's failed to submit to those drug tests. She has asked him for contact in order to try and discuss the case, and he has failed to contact her as well.
All right. The court's notes reflect, and I want to verify, is this accurate, that the child has lived with the plaintiff mother since Halloween, and she's been transferred from Toledo schools to the Arbwood schools here in Monroe County. Is that correct, Mr. Scanlon?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bays, has Mr. Tuval reached out, communicated with respect to parenting time?
No, he has not.
Had not any contact with him since Halloween or months?
No, he has not contacted me.
The court would note that this court entered an order just in January of this year, January 17th, 2024, where the court awarded joint legal and physical custody to defendant father, alternating weekends to mother. I don't recall, Ms. Patrick, what prompted that change of custody to defendant father.
I did see that order, but I am unsure of what prompted that change.
Mr. Scanlon, were you representing Ms. Bays back in January of this year when the court awarded physical custody to the defendant father?
I want to say I did not. I want to say that I had filed a motion to modify after that, which we had subsequently withdrawn. I think that's how it was. I think she was represented by someone else prior to that. But this is the second motion that I remember filing. And I think it was after the court had already entered that order. But I don't think I was representing her at that time. And if I'm wrong, I will stand corrected.
It appears that Mr. Musson from your office represented Miss Bays.
Yeah, and he's no longer with our firm.
Yes. And so in August 24th, Mr. Musson appeared with the plaintiff and the defendant, and attorney Kazmarek representing the defendant father. And the parties reached agreement at that time to vacate a trial date of October 5, 2023, with the custody to continue joint legal, but father to have primary possession of the minor child during the school year. So obviously there was issues. Mom had issues back then. Another order was entered in August of 2023. Mother's parenting time to be supervised by maternal grandmother. It appears that back then there were concerns that Miss Bays was not getting the child to school. There was concerns, yes, that the minor child had missed significant days of school, even though the school is only a half block away from where the defendant mother was residing. Miss Bays, are you getting your child to school every day?
Yes, go to school every day. Yes, sir.
With whom do you reside, Miss Bays? Do you still reside with the Miss Danny?
Yes.
Anyone else that lives in your home?
Nope.
Ms. Patrick, do you have any additional information regarding the history of this case in terms of why father was granted physical custody in late 2023?
I was looking at the file too, Your Honor. Let me take a look. I do see where the ex parte motion was filed.
That was in May 23. There's allegations that Danny Barnett was
Correct.
using drugs, including smoking crack in the home.
That was all cleared.
Yes. And Ms. Cart is present this morning from Protective Services. Ms. Cart, have you had a chance to visit the home in which this minor child resides with Miss Bays?
Yes, sir, I have.
Do you believe that environment to be appropriate for this child?
Yes, sir, I do.
For the record, could you just please state your name and occupation?
Sure. Erin Cart, assessment caseworker with Lucas County Children's Services in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, that's Cart spelled C-A-R-T-E. Thank you, Ms.
That's-
Cart.
Yes.
Appreciate you appearing this morning. And you were originally involved because this child was living with dad in Lucas County, correct?
That is correct. Her and her siblings were listed as alleged child victims on my report.
Okay. What prompted your office to open a file and start an investigation?
We had received several calls to the agency regarding domestic disputes in the residence. We had screened out several of them, but we kept getting calls and concerns from police calls and reports. And we did eventually screen one in for an investigation, and it was when father was arrested and charged with the domestic violence charge.
And did it, as far as your understanding, did that alleged incident occur in the presence of the minor child?
Yes.
Okay. So is your recommendation that Ms. Bays petition the court to change possession of the child from the father to mother? Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
You did visit the home of, did you visit the home of Ms. Bays, or did you have someone from Monroe County Protective Services visit the home?
I personally went to the residence of Miss Bays.
And you found the home to be appropriate again for the child?
I did, and I also interviewed the child in the home of Miss Bays, in addition to a previous interview where I did with the child at her school.
Thank you. Thank you for your input, and thank you for appearing this morning. The court has received the fine recommendation from Ms. Patrick that the defendant's parenting time be reserved until he petitions the court. The minor child will continue to attend Hardwood schools. We should also add, Ms. Patrick, that the child should remain in the possession of the plaintiff mother. That the child shall attend Hardwood schools and remain in the possession of plaintiff mother. We're not modifying custody at this time.
I can modify that, Your Honor. I can
I suppose.
grant mom possession at this time.
Okay, what about the issue of custody? Should we address custody at this time? Obviously, the court normally likes to conduct an evidentiary hearing before modifying custody, but it appears Mr. Tuval has now failed to appear on 2 occasions.
The first question that you had asked me is how this case has started. From the very beginning, the parties had joint physical custody. It came out of the prosecutor's office. So they've always had joint legal and joint physical custody. The very first order granted that. And then I believe that ex parte motion filed by Mr. Tuval's attorney, Mr. Kazmarek, is when the custody may have changed. We can also refer this case for a custody evaluation to the friend of the court and give another chance to show up, or I can grant mom exclusive possession of the child because originally this case started with joint legal, joint physical.
It appears that in August of 23, August 24th, the court actually the order was entered. Agreement was placed on the record August 24th, 2023. The order was signed by this court on September 8th, 2023. It provided for joint legal, filed to have primary possession of the child, and the child shall attend school where father resides. So to change it from, it did not address the joint physical. So as far as this court is concerned, the parties have joint legal custody. That will continue. It will simply address the possession. So the plaintiff mother shall have primary possession of the minor child, and the child shall attend school where mother resides, which is Arborwood Monroe Public Schools. All right, so the court will enter that order. Mr. Scanland, anything further this morning?
Well, is the court, so the court in this instance is not willing to modify legal custody?
Well, I guess if there's a major decision concerning the welfare of the child, mom can always, if there's elective surgery, mom can always reach out to dad. If dad does not participate, then I suppose, Mrs. Patrick, what's your thought on that?
Your Honor, I had not recommended a change in the legal custody. I agree with the court that all mom is required to do under legal custody is to notify dad. If dad does not take any action, she's free to continue on with what she's doing. Of course, that's not going to inhibit her to get emergency care for the child. She would have to ask the court to change to the child's school district or anything like that, or elective surgeries. But I believe all she has to do is notify the other party. If he does not object or does not come back to the court, then she's free to proceed. The joint legal is mostly a notice. She has to notify the other party of anything she's doing with the minor child.
Major decisions. Very well. That's what the court will adopt in that recommendation. Parties will continue to have joint legal custody, but mom will have primary possession of the child. The child will attend school at Arborwood Schools where the plaintiff mother resides. Again, thank you, Ms. Card, for your time and appearing this morning. It's very helpful to the court and for the benefit of this minor child. All right, with that, Mr. Scanlon, anything further?
Not at all, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Patrick will revise recommendation to include that mother shall have primary possession.
And then the defendant's parenting time is going to be reserved until he petitions the court, Your Honor?
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Bays, good luck, and your child is growing up quickly, so please remain focused on her welfare.
All right, thank you.
All right, that will conclude this. Everyone can zoom out and have a good rest of the day.
You too, Your Honor. Ms. Card,
Bye-bye.
thank you for coming. You guys have a good Christmas.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.